Hello, writers and readers, and welcome to the March 2025 bonus episode of the Let's Write a Novel podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about what I'm considering an author hot topic, and this is something that I've seen many videos on both TikTok and YouTube, as well as just on Reddit and any writing community. I've seen people discussing that, and that is AI and how it kind of works into novel writing. So I'm going to kind of go over the do's and don'ts with it, and then give you my final opinion on it in the end, because I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing, but I also think that it's not really too much of a good thing. It can be a good thing, but it's going to get exploited. So let's get into it. So let's first start talking about how it's going to plot, how it can help you plot your novel. So a good things it can do is it can help you understanding plot structure. You could put in your prompts and it can give you kind of the plot of it, and kind of help you to know, okay, maybe this is a bad part to put so far in the beginning, or maybe this is too late of a time to bring this thing in. And also, it's good about developing characters. You can put in, maybe you have this character that you know you need this character there, but you just cannot get them to have the backstory you want, have the details you want, that you could put in what information you have and let it develop this character for you, and then you could develop it further. I wouldn't let it just completely develop it for you, but I do think that it could help, because I mean, if you have a huge cast of 20 plus characters, it's going to be hard to make them all unique, and I do think AI could kind of help. But also, there is a bad side to it. Don't just give it a writing prompt and let it generate the entire plot for your story. So let's move on to the next part, and that is using AI for the writing and editing part. So here are some good reasons for it. Number one, reviewing common mistakes. I'm going to be honest, with the book that I'm getting ready to release in May, I have used AI in the editing process. And don't jump down my throat. I didn't let it just edit everything. I'm still hiring editors. I'm still letting beta readers look at my story and stuff. But one thing was, I write in first person, but I would always, one of the feedbacks I got a lot was I slipped between present tense and past tense. So one time I might say, I walked to the supermarket, and the next time I wrote, I walked to the supermarket. So I walk is present tense. I'm talking about me doing it now. I walk is like me telling the story later in life. So I would do this a lot. A lot of that I could catch when I was proofreading, but there were still times that I would mess it up. So I could put it through AI chapter by chapter and just let it fix those little things. I mean, that's something an editor would do, and it just made an editor's life a little bit easier when I did send it to them. Another good thing is about giving feedback, and that is like, I could put a chapter in there and just ask, how's the pacing of this chapter? How's the, what's your overall thought? And a good thing about AI I've seen other authors do is that they'll put in there give me feedback like how this author. So if you was writing, let's say, a fantasy novel, you could say, give me feedback as if you were George R.R. Martin or another fantasy writer, and it will take stuff from the internet it knows about George R.R. Martin and give you a critique as if it was them, which I think is really good. And if not, you can just, if you don't have a specific author, you can just say, give me a feedback as if you was a literary agent and stuff. And remember, take it with a grain of salt, because it's not actually giving you feedback of an actual person. It is giving you feedback of a robot. So, take it with a grain of salt, but it's good about giving you feedback. Another thing, grammar mistakes, and this kind of goes with that top one of reviewing common mistakes. I am good at grammar, and I just messed this up. I'm good at grammar, but there are still a lot, like there, and there. I know the difference between all three of them, but still sometimes I will get them mixed up, and it's not something that I can always catch when I'm editing. So it's good about doing that stuff. And again, it just makes the editor's life a little bit easier down the line. And because you can honestly, you could use for grammar mistakes and just use something like Grammarly or another, yes, I can't think of the word, grammar checker things that you can download for free onto your computer. And another thing is free advice. And this kind of goes again with the second one, getting feedback. AI, unless you're using a specific type of AI is free. And for now, I'm sure it'll become paid here soon. So who knows, maybe by the time this is uploaded, it will no longer be free. But I think it's such a good way of, if you need some free advice, you don't have friends that would enjoy your book, be able to give you honest feedback, you're not ready to spend money on an editor yet, and you just want someone to look at your story, AI is a great companion for that. Let's talk about the bad. Letting it write your entire book. And this, I'm going to deep dive into this, because this is where I am against AI in novel writing. Like I said, I've used it, but I have never let it generate a whole chapter. I've never let it generate a whole book. I don't even let it generate its own sentences. I give it strict guidelines when I'm writing my books of how it is to edit, and it is not to change any words except for ones it is correcting with the instructions I give. I'm very strict with my AI. I actually feel bad about it, but then I have to remember that, hey, it's just a robot. I don't have feelings. For now, again, we don't know about AI in the future. Could start having feelings. But so, and this is where I don't like AI, is because I saw a TikTok a while ago of a girl saying, this is how you use AI to start writing books. And she literally gave it a prompt to write a children's story about an avocado or something. And it generates a story, and then she puts it together with generic images off of Google Earth, and then uploads it to KDP or Ingram Spark, whichever one she did it on. And that just boils my blood. There has been so many writers for so many years that work so hard on their stories, and then there's these people coming in just trying to make a quick buck with it. And I think that's something we all do. Like, it's not something, I guess not something we all do, but when you write a novel, everyone always says, don't do it for the money. You are not going to make money off of it. And the thing is, then there's these people turning around and writing novels with AI just for the full part of making money for it. So then it's saturating the market. You go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble right now, or any of the ones that let self-published books on there, and look at it, and there are so many books now that are AI written. I know that there was a book I got a while back, a couple months ago. It was a sequel book to one of my favorite movies, and I knew it wasn't going to be good. I knew that buying it, but it was $1.99 on Amazon, and I was like, I thought it was going to be like fan fiction. It was going to be something fun for a little read or something. It was a really short story. I thought, I'll read it in one sitting, it'll be great. 2 pages in, I realized it was AI generated, and I didn't finish it. And there's so many things that give it away. First of all, every time a character's name was mentioned, it was their full name, first and last name. And then there was just other stuff that it just made it just screamed AI, and that there was no actual creative process put into this. Somebody just put a prompt into ChatGPT and let them decide what was going on with the book. So, to continue, also don't use AI as your only editor. AI can catch stuff, but it's not going to be able to follow the rules like a regular editor would. And what I'm saying about that is, my story I've written is of a guy in the Midwest United States. I'm from the Midwest United States. We don't have the best grammar. We talk a little funny. We have kind of a Midwestern accent, and there's certain words I say that someone who lived in New York or LA wouldn't quite understand or thought I said funny. And that's something that AI, unless you specifically tell it, is not going to catch it. It's going to make it grammatically correct, and then it's going to sound like a Shakespearean story. Like everybody has perfect grammar. I've never met a person, even people with English degrees don't have perfect grammar. You still have your slang and your words that you say different and stuff like that. And you want your characters to be like this. You're not writing a high school English paper. You're writing a story that needs to have character. So my final thoughts, like I said, AI is a tool that you can use, but it shouldn't be your only tool. And I put this up at the top. It was a quote I kind of came up with while writing this. AI should be your friend, not your employee. And like I said in the other ones, you should let you give you feedback. You should let it look over and fix little things and stuff, but don't use it as your employee. Don't use it as your editor. Don't take everything it says with a grain of salt. So I hope you enjoyed this, just a little short video. I just wanted to give my thoughts out there. Like I said, don't use AI to write your whole book. I can't say that enough. It makes me mad just seeing how many books are on Amazon and stuff now are just AI and there's no creative process behind it. Don't be that author. If you're following my advice, hoping that you're going to make millions off writing a book, but you're wanting to use AI, don't listen to any more of my podcast because that's not what it's for. I'm sorry to be rude, but that's just my thoughts on this. I am giving advice to people who are sitting down with their mouse and keyboard or even pen and paper and writing out their story from start to finish, and maybe using AI, like I said, as a friend, but we're not using it as an employee. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, check out my socials, TikTok at Let's Write a Novel, and Blue Sky at Dane Andrews. Like, share, and follow. Give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Hopefully there's more information about my upcoming books soon, or may already be out now. I'm recording this in February, so I'm not sure exactly when everything will be related. And make sure to let me know down in the comments. I love debating with people. I want to know your thoughts on AI. So let's have an educated discussion, not an argument, in the comments. And make sure that if someone comments and something you don't agree with, let them know your opinions. Again, don't argue, but I want this to be a community. I want us to be down in the comments, going back and forth, like we're on a panel on a TV show. We're all giving our different views. So yeah, make sure you like the video and come back next month for our next topic, and make sure to follow the main series. We're doing the 12 steps to writing a novel. Thanks, and remember to keep writing.